Okie dokie, here we are with 10.3 Slope-Intercept Form. Okay, now we're actually going to start getting into some formulas here. Okay, let's see what they're going to have us do for objectives. Okay, we're going to interpret the slope of a line as a rate of change, find the slope of a given line, given 2 points on the line, find the slopes of horizontal and vertical lines, graph linear equation by finding the slope and y-intercept, and use slope-intercept form to write the equation of a line given its slope and y-intercept. Okay, so first thing we need to know is the formula. Okay, this is going to be the formula for the slope. Okay, this will obviously go into a little bit more detail whenever we're in class, but remember this P sub 1 is literally just a point on the line, okay? And this is another point on the line that's going to be on a graph. Most of the time it's going to be given to you, but sometimes you may have to find 2 points on a graph. And then you literally are just going to plug it into this formula right here, and that's going to give you the slope, okay? And the slope, you can think of it literally just like this, okay? It is a slope. It looks like this, and so you have 2 points here, okay? Here you're going to have, say, your P1, and that's going to be your X1 and your Y1, and up here you have your P2, which is going to have your X2 and your Y2. Okay, and notice when you subtract these points, you get what you're going to find out is this. This is that rise over run, okay? Well, you're rising, and then you're running, okay? Or here, more appropriately, I should draw it like this, where you get your rise and your run, okay? And this creates a slope. The slope is that line right there. Like if you were walking up a hill, if you're walking up a roof, okay, what is the slope, okay? So the notation P1 is called a subscript, so we'll kind of just get over that, just not really hit on that too hard. Okay, so let's look. This kind of goes into a little bit more detail and shows you exactly kind of what I just drew. Find the slope of the line that contains the points -1, 2, and 3, 5, then graph the line. So for X1, you're going to use this one, and you can use either one of them. Don't start thinking that, okay, you have to use this one and no. You're going to get the same slope out of this no matter what, I promise you. Okay, so we come in here, we grab a highlighter here. Okay, so for P1, it's going to be this guy right here. Okay, there he is. Okay, right there. For P2, they're going to use this one. Use those numbers, and here they are. And notice they're plugging everything into the formula. So now I'm sure on the next one, they're going to show us exactly how they plug these in. Maybe. If not, let me go ahead and plug these in now, just in case. Okay, so notice for Y2, well, for Y, we get a 5. Let's put that here. We got 5. Sticking with the formula, we got a minus. And then what do we have for Y1? Y1 is going to be this 2 here. So we got 5 minus 2. Well, notice for the X2, we got a 3. Always stick with your minus. And then notice for this one, we have a -1 here for our X1. Well, that means I have a -1. Don't just skip out on this and just go, okay, well, I have a negative, so I don't have to put the negative there. No, you still have to stick with that negative. So here when you get 5 minus 3, that ends up being 3 plus 1, and so you get 4. And so that is going to be our rise over 1. Notice it goes up 3, the rise part, and we're going to run 4. It's positive, so we go in the positive direction. And this will go on forever. You could keep doing this and finding new points. So let's continue on and see what else it looks like here. Yes, notice, like they said, you can switch these around. This is what I'm trying to show you. You switch them around, you're still going to get 3, 4, but just look what happens. When you have negative and negative, you're going down instead of rise. Well, you go down because it's a -3, and instead of, you're still going to run, you're just going to run in the left-hand direction. So just don't get hung up on saying, well, I better find the right P1 or P2. No, chill out. Don't worry. It's going to be just fine. Okay. Definition. Lines with a positive slope, like we just had, 3, 4, they go up. Lines with a negative slope go down. I want you to look at something. I want you to think of this one right here. We have a positive slope here because even though this says -3, -4, well, remember, those negatives cancel, and so you're still going to have that positive line in there. So don't get hung up on some of this. Some of this is going to be, once you see it conceptually, it's going to help out a lot. The following two general statements are true for horizontal and vertical lines. For horizontal lines of the form y equals b, the slope is 0. For vertical lines in the form of x equals a, the slope is undefined. Okay, reason being, and I'll show you this, is find the equation for the slope of the horizontal line through the point -2, 5. Well, look, the equation of y equals 5 and the slope is 0. Because look, no matter what I put in here, you could find another point on here if you wanted to. So if I've got -2, 5, let's get a pin out here, and I'll prove this to you. So one of my points, we'll just say my P1 is going to be -2, 5. Well, I could find a P2 very easily. Let's just make it, how about 0, 5? Okay, well, let's plug everything in. Well, I've got 5 minus 5, okay, all over. Well, then I've got this, my P2 is going to be 0 minus -2. Well, that's going to be 0 over 2. Well, notice that's just going to equal 0. So I have a slope of 0 here. That's where you're getting that from. Well, why does it say that for undefined? Well, let's look at 2 points here. Notice they give us 2 points again. Okay, let's come back in here. What do we mean by undefined? Well, if I have a P1 point of 3, 2, let's find another point of, say, just 3, 0. Okay, or sorry, not 3, 0. Come here with P2 of 3, 0. Let's start putting everything into our formula. Okay, well, here's my y2, so it's going to be 0 minus 2 all over, well, how about 3 minus 3? That's going to equal -2 over 0, and can't do that. Notice you cannot divide by a negative. Okay, when you do that, it's undefined, which is why whenever you have a vertical line, the slope is undefined. Okay, let's continue on. For an equation in the form of y equals mx plus b, the slope of the line is m. Okay, this guy right there. So that m, that is your slope. Everything that we've been finding, you will plug that in right there. Okay, continuing on with the definition. Okay, y equals mx plus b is called slope-intercept form for the equation line where m is the slope and 0, b is the y-intercept. Remember, wherever there's a y-intercept, it's always where x equals 0. So if I show you something of the form of, like, say, y equals 2x plus 3, and I say, where's the y-intercept? You should be able to look at this and go, well, that's where the y equals, that's a positive 3, so that's going to be 0, 3. Well, what's the slope? Like, what is the angle? Well, it's a positive angle. There it is right there. And so m is equal to 2, and I always say it this way, it's over 2 over 1. So you're going to rise 2 and go over to the right 1. So let's continue on. We'll do some examples. Then, of course, we'll get into some hogs. Okay. Find the slope and the y-intercept of this, and then graph the line. Basically, you're solving for y. We've done this, okay? Solve for y, get everything onto one side. So let's rewrite this. And I've got -2x plus 3y equals 6. Well, -2x, let's do a positive 2x on both sides. Now remember, let's get this to make it look like y equals mx plus b. Okay, so let's try to make it in that form. Well, notice this is going to reduce, and I'm going to be left with 3y equals, getting it into that form, I can just go and put that 2x there, plus 6. Now I'm going to divide this 3 by everything, okay, to get rid of it on this side. And I'm going to end up with y equals 2/3 x plus 2, where my y-intercept is 0, 2. Okay, and my slope is right here. This is my m, which means I'm going to go, this right here, I'm going to go up 2 and over 3 from this point right here. So whenever we look this on a graph, that's exactly what it's going to look like. We have a y-intercept of 0, 2, that's where it's going across, and we're going to go up 2, over 3, up 2, over 3. And notice we can go backwards. We can go the opposite direction. We can go 1, 2, 3, and then down 2. 1, 2, 3, and then down 2. And we'll do that forever in both directions, and it works. So this is how things are going to work out in this lesson, and we'll do plenty of hawk examples, and after a while this is just going to become muscle memory for you, but it's kind of a nice little formula to know.